Alright guys, let's go ahead and get right into the review. If you looked at the title, we're going to do a review of the Doomslayer Ember skin action figure from Mcfarlane Toys. A little bit of a different figure review today. Usually do Halo, but up top we got Doom Eternal on the box, 22 moving parts, and then it says 14 plus, not a toy. I would agree. Doomslayer Ember skin, and then on the back of the inside of the box, there was a shell that the figure came in. Took that out. It came with the little plastic ties, and then you have a bunch of fire. Right here, the circle, that was the Doom base that this figure came with, just a solid black base that we've been getting from Mcfarlane Toys, and it just says Doom. On the back, it says Doom Eternal. This is the box art that you get with the figure. The Marauder right here, that's another great Mcfarlane Toys action figure, as well as the Doomslayer. This is the cover art of the video game. You don't get a glam shot of the figure. On the side, Doom Eternal, and then on the other side, Doomslayer Ember skin on the bottom. If you're looking for it, let's go ahead and zoom in on that. Doomslayer Ember skin. Got this from my local shop, Rogue Toys, here in Las Vegas. So definitely go ahead and check them out if you get a chance if you're out in Vegas. So let's take a look at the figure. All right, and there you have it, the Ember skin from Mcfarlane Toys of the Doomslayer from Doom Eternal. That is a lot to say, but let's get right into it. This was a skin that you would get, I believe it was as a DLC, but nonetheless, you were able to use this skin in-game after the game came out. And it does actually, it is on fire in the game. That's why you got these flame effects, but we'll get into that right in a little bit. One thing I want to talk about first is the paint job. So you get a lot of a darker green in this, darker green and gray. That's what the whole entire figure is, minus the flame and minus the deco on the super shotgun right here. But we'll get into the accessories in just a bit. One thing I want to note right off the bat, because this was the main question that I had when I first saw this figure revealed, does the fire come off? I'll tell you yes and no. The fire right there on the blade does come off, but the fire on the helmet is adhered to the actual helmet. So those of you wondering, you can't really customize this guy as far as the helmet goes. You could paint around it, but we'll go ahead and talk about the fire effects just in a second. So again, a dark hunter green, like an olive drab maybe. And this is exactly kind of what it looks like in the game as well. I think a yellow wash would have been great, but I think I'm just going to do that myself. This is a good base figure to kind of work with. They are fun to customize as well, but just some gray, some green. Let's take a look at the back here. And we do have a little bit of red, very subtle amount of red in the back. You wouldn't even notice it from the front, obviously. I think it looks cool. It does what it needs to, nothing too crazy, and nice little distinction there. So they didn't need to do that, but they did. So there you go. Just that dark hunter green. It is very kind of like prototype looking is what I've heard. A lot of people, from what I've heard, aren't feeling this as much as the other ones. I think it's cool because the flame effects, honestly, that's kind of why I got it. I wanted a couple of different Doomslayers, and this gave me an excuse to buy another one. It's not just the same figure in a different color, so, which we know Mcfarlane Toys likes to do that. Let's take one last look at the visor here. It looks okay, but it looks like such a separate piece because of the perimeter of that, like the outline of the visor. It makes it look kind of like it's popping out or broken off. Whereas the OG one was black, so you didn't really notice the outlining as much, but yeah, it does a job. You notice it's a visor, but it just looks like too much of a separate piece than the other one. So let's go ahead and talk about a couple of other things on the suit, and we'll go into like the accessories after that. Okay, first thing I want to talk about, like I said before, I want to talk about the fire on the helmet. I think they would have done a service to this figure if they would have put maybe like a black wash in it. That would have looked great. I think that's what I'm going to do. It would have looked a little bit more smoky, not too much, but I mean, it looks okay. It doesn't look too crazy. You can tell that it's fire. Again, for those of you wondering, it does not come off of the helmet, which is unfortunate. It is what it is. It would have been cool to have the option of having the flame effect, and if you could have put it on the other figures, that would have been way cool, but it is what it is. For those of you who don't know, this Doom figure also, it doesn't come with a head sculpt on the inside. It is just a giant long ball peg. So as far as looking up, that's what you get there. As far as looking down, that's what you get there. which is fairly decent, I think. So for Mcfarlane standards, I really think it is. You don't get too much articulation with some of his figures, as we all know. So Todd's probably listening somewhere. Just kidding, he doesn't watch this channel. Anyways, going back into the accessory over here, we get the arm cannon, which is great. It's just all one color. It is what it is. Again, it's supposed to resemble the Ember skin in the game. So good articulation on this. I always like the articulation on the arm cannons for the Doom figures that they put out. And it does hold its spot. It doesn't, see that? It doesn't just fall down like some other figures would. Let's see. It does stay there. So that's what it looks like on the side there. With that said, let's go ahead and look at the shoulders. They do pop off. They're on ball pegs, both of them. I'm not going to do the other one just because you guys can understand that. Gray on the shoulders here, and then you can kind of articulate them in different ways, however you guys would like. So I think they look good like that. Solid. You do get a little bit of exposure of the shoulder, just FYI, but again, you can kind of go over it like that. Looks good. Sorry guys, excuse me. As far as articulation goes, you have the joint right here. That looks good. He doesn't go too far out, guys. Again, that's that kind of like Mcfarlane Toys articulation. It's a catch-22. Do you want a really good detailed sculpt, or do you want articulation? For this figure is only 20 bucks USD, so I think you're getting a lot for what you're paying for, to be honest. The sculpt, no offense, I love NECA Toys, but I want to say the same figure from NECA Toys would be like $35, like $15 more. So Mcfarlane Toys, for what the sculpt is, the articulation is pretty on point, I think. Not really too crazy. I don't think you need this guy to be in a crazy pose, but don't expect him to go into that. So as far as the legs go, see that? That's as far as he goes. That's like all the way for, well, there we go. Excuse me. Almost had you misled there. There's that. And then, boom. There's that as well. So decent, not the best, not the worst, but decent for what you're getting as far as sculpt goes. Let's go ahead and pop these there. So, alrighty. You get the knees, just the basic joint there. Have him pray, whatever you want. Then let's go ahead and talk about the other accessories with this, guys. We'll talk about the Super Shotgun and then the blade. First things first is the Super Shotgun. Overall, you're getting less paint on this. The base of it is a lot more just kind of basic gray. They could have added a black wash or something, I think. Even the handle, the wrapping, it's all gray. It kind of breaks the illusion of it not being a toy. We know it's a toy, but you know, you want it to look realistic at least. I don't know if that's how it is in the game, but they could have, I felt like, at least a black wash. So just a very basic gray. The only color that we really see other than that is this kind of like mustard yellow for the meat hook is what they call it, I believe. Sorry, I just play the game. I don't think about all the, you know, official this and official that, but it looks very basic, just FYI. So keep that in mind. You can, again, customize your own, but that is the Super Shotgun for the Ember skin. So let's go ahead and get a quick zoom in, not zoom in, but a focus. And this is what the blade looks like. The blade looks very gray. It's all gray. Again, just looks like a prototype almost. This figure must have been really easy to make. Don't quote me on that, but just looking at kind of like the lack of paint and everything like that, I get it's supposed to resemble the skin, but they could have done some black washing and all that. I plan on doing some yellow washing like I was saying earlier, but just to make it look like fire. But that's what it looks like, just gray. So you'll notice the flame effect is not on there. This is what the flame effect looks like by itself. Nice kind of like a dark orange wash in there. It has a good amount of distinction. So you'll see right here, this is where the blade kind of just slides in and it goes all the way through to this hole right there. And that's where the tip goes. Let's go ahead and see if I can put that on in real time. So that's what it looks like, guys. It kind of has to like, the sword bends a little bit, not the sword, but the blade bends a little bit, so you have to keep that in mind. But it looks good. It does the job. See how that is? There's a little bit of a curvature there. So, but yeah, I think it looks cool. It's a good effect, nice contrast, but again, I wish the figure kind of had a little bit more of a black wash to bring out some of the details in the green. So, yep. And there you guys have it, the Mcfarlane Toys Ember Skin Doomslayer action figure with the flame effects, with the new paint deco. Overall, if you're a big Doom fan, you're probably going to pick this up anyway. If you're not, and you've been kind of looking for a Doomslayer figure, I would inquire about the Big Bad Toy Store Doomslayer that comes in the Astro armor, which is the white armor, and it comes with the Crucible sword. A lot of these figures have been coming with the Super Shotgun and the blade. Obviously, the other one's going to come with the blade too, the Astro one, but it's going to come with the Crucible sword that you get towards the end of the game. With that being said, if you are a big Doom fan or you just like the design, this is decent. I am a big Doom fan. After playing the game, I was like, man, I want to collect some of these figures. So what I was planning on doing, the reason why I got this figure was it is a different mold technically. You get the flame. So I wanted that. I'm not going to go get the bronze edition. I'm not going to go get all the different little colors that Mcfarlane Toys, they'll always do different colors, you know. They like to do that, like bronze edition. I have the Phobos one right now. I don't have the OG one from the game Doom Eternal. But I think if you're a fan of the game, this is a decent enough figure. 20 bucks is not going to kill you. And you want a little bit of a different sculpt, and you got the fire effects. So that looks good, and I think it's prime for customizing. So I do like it. I'm glad I picked it up. But if you're looking for like a base Doomslayer and you don't have one, you don't want to pay an arm and a leg for the green one, maybe the Astro armor, or if you're looking to pre-order the original Doomslayer, that's a decent one too. But this one's cool if maybe you already have one and you want to just have that extra one with the flame effects. So let me know what you guys think. Sorry, going on a toy rant here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.